street with this routine because of the tumbling. She has 3 excellent tumbling passes. Choreography and the music selection is a little unusual. Watch this opening pass. Double layout. You can't stick it any better than that. Whip back through to a double back. Highly energetic routine. Actually whip back with a full twist. Even more difficulty.
Is this music off of a USA Greatest Hits album?
Yes. It's an old Romanian favorite, deep in the heart of Bucharest.
Now watch this final tumbling run. Full twisting double back, but notice the open tuck position. Oh, that's great. Well, whether you like the composition or not, the judges are going to love that tumbling.
Cristina Bontas of Romania. Listen to the crowd. We mentioned this earlier, but this is a very knowledgeable crowd.
As you mentioned, Kathy, her tumbling is absolutely spectacular. This pass here, the whip back with a full twist right through to a back handspring to a tuck double back. Excellent combination.
So the scores for Cristina Bontas. Look at this, 9-9-6-2. She also had a couple of 10s. Scores very high in this second rotation. And there's more Gunga Way. Indianapolis has firmly established itself as the mecca for the big event in sports. It's a city that has become host to some of America's most grandiose parties. The 1987 Pan Am Games, for instance, their opening ceremonies set the tone for this city. They were held at the Indianapolis Speedway, itself the hallmark of auto racing's grandest day. When the Pan Am Games were held here in Indy, they suddenly seemed to have the kind of international impact they lacked before or since. Basketball played the Hoosier Dome this year as Duke won the hearts of the heartland, and with it, won the national championship, beating the unbeatable UNLV along the way. The 500 held Memorial Day weekend has become that sport's best. The self-proclaimed greatest spectacle in racing is just that. And this year alone, Indy has played host to some of sport's biggest moments. Who could forget the PGA and the emergence of a new American hero, John Daly? Tennis has its yearly run here in Indy as well. The GTE National Hardcourt Championships that this year attracted Grand Slam champions like Pete Sampras and Boris Becker. And now it's the World Championships of Gymnastics, another event that the community has taken to heart and the world has noted. Jack Swarbrick, the chairman of the Indianapolis Organizing Committee, welcomed the world at the opening ceremonies.
To all of you, I say thanks for helping us share the magic.
He then pointed proudly to the facilities for competitors, media, and fans, and then answered the ultimate question. Is it just simply too much for the crossroads of America to handle?
First of all, if you pick your events carefully, as we try to do, you pick events that are compatible with each other. The crowd for this event, frankly, probably isn't the same as the crowd for the NCAA Final Four, but this way we've delivered an event to various segments of the community. But in addition, I think it's like anything else that you're trying to sell, and we want to sell our city. The repetitive nature of a lot of events in one year helps do that. I think Indianapolis has been in the sports spotlight this year in a way that's really pretty unique.
It's almost as if that applause were meant for the city of Indianapolis, which has played host in magnificent fashion so far. One of the true stars of this sport, Svetlana Bulganskaya and the Uneven Bars.
And like Kim Zmeskal, this is Svetlana's weakest event. In fact, she's taken out one of the skills in her routine. She's only doing that one release move, the reverse hecht. Therefore, her level of difficulty is somewhat decreased, but look at the perfect form on every single position. Pike double back and a great landing. One thing the judges cannot do here is take form deduction. She has none.
You're so right, Kathy. In fact, her form is so clean on this final sequence of the routine, but as you mentioned, the difficulty level is not there. She earned a lot of her accolades early in her career by doing big difficulty. Now she's riding on her perfect form and technique to get big scores.
Well, and it worked for yet another time. 9-9-6-2 the scores for Svetlana Boginskaya. When you look at the Soviet scores as we watch Kim Zmeskal prepare for her beam routine, Soviet's simply remarkable in the second rotation. 9-8-8-7, 9-9-2-5, 9-9-2-5, 9-9-8-7, 9-9-7-5, 9-9-6-2.
And the Americans have been doing so well on the balance beam. They have just done extraordinary work, and as Bart said earlier, this is really the best American team that we have seen on the balance beam. This is Kim's most difficult pass right here. It's 2 layout step outs. Here's a nice segment of Kim's balance beam routine. Not that difficult, but it's excellent dance work down low to the balance beam. It's her gymnastics series, combining 2 leaps in a row.
This is the most assertive U.S. women's team. They really seem to be attacking the work on the beam. No hesitation in any of the acrobatic elements.
And they really, with the exception of Betty Okino, seem to be almost interchangeable parts. They are all almost exactly the same.
Here comes her dismount. Landing very important here. Very well done. You've got to keep in mind, too, the pressure that these gymnasts are under. They're sitting in second place. An American team has never won a world championship medal in team competition. So they've got to be feeling a lot of nerves at this point. There's a beautiful arched balance position that's called a reverse plunge. And this is really what Kim is all about. Look at the spring in her legs and her air awareness. She knows exactly where she is to drop it in for a nice landing.
And there are scores, 9-9-5-0 for Kim Zmeskal. So the Americans doing very well on beam as we get now to Tatiana Gutsu of the Soviet Union on the uneven bar.
Now you go from Boginskaya, doesn't quite have the level of difficulty necessary for this level of competition, to Gutsu, who has more than enough. Here's her first release move, way up in the air, a high Ginger. Watch how much speed she generates on these giant swings. Come up with a big release move, reverse hecht, and this dismount is gorgeous. Watch the position in the air. Opens up into that